Hi guys, today we're looking at PT56 Game 4. This is a really tough game that combines both grouping elements um, and linear elements, so it's a combination game really. And our basic setup is that we've got these 3 site visits, and we don't know the order of them yet. And we're visiting either Farmington, Homestead, or Morningside. And then we've got these executives that we're putting in those site visits, and that's Quinn, Rodriguez, Sasada, Taylor, and Vandekar. And the site visits occur over the course of 3 days, and each one is on a different day. So that's your real base set there. 1, 2, 3, and then, 1, 2, 3, and then you'll put FHM into there, into this next row. So I would put FHM, and that'll go into this row here. And then these guys will go on top of there. And unfortunately, it's not really known exactly how many executives will be at which site visit yet. So this is actually going to be like a group then that you put over this ordering. Q, R, S, T, V. So for example, we might have an M visit here, and there could be like Q and S in that. So that's kind of what we'll see. We'll see groups placed on top of however we order these site visits. Okay, so let me draw that a little nicer so that we start off Q, R, S, T, V. And just remember that this isn't just one row. We've got to assign all these guys somewhere. So it might be like 2 rows, might just be 1. Okay, so then now let's move on to our next rules here. The Farmington visit takes place before the Homestead visit. So we can just draw that simply as FH. What I saw when not an arrow, FH, when I saw this, I was like, okay, well, there's only a few orders. Maybe it's best if I just get them out, So we have F and then H or M. H or M is one possible order. And then the next order is 1, 2, 3, and then we could have F, H, and then M. So this represents the 3 possible orders. We'd have FHM, FMH, or we're stuck with FH and then the M gets kicked over here. And then Farmington visit includes only one of the executives. So what I do for that is I put the 1 spot and then I box it in so that I know this can only have this 1 spot here occupied. And then conceivably the rest of these can either have 2, right, like this, or they could have 3 and 1. So it's good to kind of keep that distribution, how that's going to play out in your head. Now we get some more rules. The site visit that includes Quinn must take place before any with Rodriguez and Taylor. So since I've already represented this rule, I'm just going to cross it off so it doesn't cause extra confusion. I've represented it in my 2 possible orders. Now I've got Q has to be before R and T. And then this last rule is slightly tricky. S cannot visit after any site visit that includes Vandekar. So we've got 2 possible orders. We'll see either S, V, or they'll be together. Like this. What we can't ever see is S on the other side of V. We can't, this is gone, all right? So depending on your style, you might want to just say that that's no good right there, or just leave these 2 possibilities. All right, with that, we're pretty much ready to jump into these. I'm not going to look at the acceptability question there. You just take your rules one at a time and see where they're violated. We come up here with A as the correct answer for 17. Okay, 18 says, what if the second of the three site visits includes R and T? So if we have R and T, that's 2 in this 2 spot. We know we're using this world 1 order here, right? So we'd have F, our base order is F, then HM, and then R and T are up over that. That forces Q to be alone over in this 1 spot. And as I always say, once you've made an inference, check if it answers the question. Yeah, it does. The Farmington visit must include Quinn, so that gives us A as the answer. Pretty easy stuff there, as with many beginning questions. In this game, I think it's particularly important to leave up your orders, So let's not erase it, even though we usually do for space considerations here. Okay. On to 19. Okay, 19 is a really tricky one. We're asked what happens if one of the site visits includes both Quinn and Sasada. Well, what do I know about Quinn and Sasada? R and T have to come after, so there's no way that Quinn and Sasada would be in the 3rd spot. So I thought it would be best to just try it out in the 2 different places where this Quinn and Sasada block could be. So my first one is this 1, 2, 3, and then I'd have R and T here after Quinn. We need to put somebody in the front, right? B's our only guy left. However, this violates this rule about V and Sasada in relationship to each other, right? So this is no good. So the only possibility now is to have Q and S be in the front, right? And then we then know that, let's do that in a more organized way. We need to have Q and S in the front, right? That means that this is no longer F. So now we're in the F, M, H order. R and T need to be somewhere out here, and V needs to be, somewhere out here. But what we do know is this can only have one thing. So some possible orders are V and then RT is one order that we could have. Or we could have the V up here, right? You'd have V and then R and T split up into 2 and 3. So let me actually just write that out differently here. You could have V, Q, S, R, T, R, T. Sorry, this is getting a little disorganized. 1, 2, 3, and then M, F, H. Okay, so that was difficult, but not too hard. You just had to kind of proceed in an orderly fashion. And now I should be able to answer the question for sure. No, I kind of broke my rules about, checking after inferences to see if I could answer the question. But it was so difficult to keep track of what I was doing that I just wanted to get it all out on paper. These are now the only 2 possible combinations with Q and S together, right? So what could be true in these 2 scenarios? The Farmington visit is the first 3 site visits. No. Homestead visit is the second. No, we know F always has to be second. One of the site visits includes only Vandekar. Yeah, that's possible. So I shouldn't have made that 3rd order. I could have checked after this 1st order and answered the question. So, even experts sometimes make mistakes, and I wasted time making the 2nd order. Once I had an acceptable order, I could have determined that C could be true, B could only be the only one in this 2nd spot. Okay, this is asking us, 20 is asking us the executives who visit Homestead cannot be, and I'm immediately looking at Quinn because, see, Homestead is forced to be in this either the 2 or the 3 spot in both of our worlds, right? So anytime we'd have Quinn in, then both R and T have to be after it. So what if, I'm kind of, with that in mind, I'm trying out these answer choices. Let's try A, Quinn and Vandekar in Homestead. And then after that, we'd have M. We'd have to be in this order here, F, H, M. Well, now R and T both have to go over here, right? And then S has to go over here. That looks fine. So I don't see anything wrong with that. That's okay. So that eliminates answer choice A. But I'm still looking at Quinn pretty heavily here. So executives who visit Homestead, let's try that again. Now let's do Homestead, Quinn, Sasada, and Vandekar. That forces R and T into this back spot per this rule over here. And then there's no one left to go in F, which violates our rule that at least one executive has to visit a site. So we know that we can't have QSV visiting Homestead. And that gives us our correct answer, D. If that looks like a bit like magic what I just did there, well, I just directed my attention to Quinn because, you know, Homestead has to be in the back end here. The earliest we can ever have the Homestead visit is in the 2 position. And then if you put Quinn in there, it causes possible problems because of R and T having to be after it. So I just kind of thought that was a likely place to look. Following the rule that, obviously, you know, we always are living and dying by what the rules say, you know? So if you're going to look for places where things cannot be true, look to the rules. You know, this QRT looked like it might provide a situation where something can't be true with Q being in Homestead. And that's how I got to D kind of quickly. Okay, if the Morningside visit includes both Quinn and Vandekar, right? So I'm looking at it and I kind of just want to do out my possibilities here. Again, this is like the theme. I've got my 2 worlds. I want to try these out. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then Morningside, F, H, and then Quinn and Vandekar. We need to have S in there, right? Because S can't go beyond V. And that would leave us with just R, T, R, T. All right, and that's one possible order. And then the other possible order is that we could have 1, 2, 3, and then F, Morningside, H, and then Quinn and Vandekar. However, this runs into quick problems, right? We need to put S and T here, R and T here, and then S has to go there. And that actually looks fine, okay? So these are our 2 possible orders for answering question 21. What could be true in either of these 2 orders? One of the sites visits has both R and S. Nope, I don't see that in any of my orders. The second of the 3 site visits includes 3 people. No, not possible. The last of the 3 site visits include exactly 3 of the executives. No. The Homestead visit takes place earlier than the Morningside visit. Nope, not possible. So we're down to the last one here. The Morningside visit takes place earlier than the Farmington visit. Yep, that is possible, right here. Okay, so yeah, E was our answer by elimination, but it checked out too. So generally here, we notice a theme in this game that you want to just be a super efficient mini diagrammer and hammer out your possibilities as quickly as possible. You work with these two worlds, it's kind of like a split game, right? And then you quickly diagram the two possibilities out. And then it's easy to get to the answer choice from there. 22, which of the following must be true? I'm trying to look at something that I just know from all the work that I've done previously. And then I finally get down to E, and I see that this, in fact, was a really easy question. At least one of the first two site visits include only one of the executives. Yeah, in both of our orders, F has to be in these first two orders, right? So we see that 22 was kind of a diabolical question that was just testing whether we got our distributions, our two orders, our two possible big, large picture orders right. And you'll see this is a common theme, right? So I always say anytime you get to a could be true question late in the game, make sure that you haven't already solved it easily by your work in the main diagram before you do anything harder. And I got a little off course checking C there, but then I saw E and realized, yeah, we'd already answered this question. We knew that this must be true, that there's only one executive in these first two spots. Okay, 23 asks us, if the Farmington visit includes Sasada, which one of the following must be true? So I want to just get our two orders out with Sasada in that single F spot. So we've got this, and then the FHM. And then our second order is 1, 2, 3, and then get F in the middle with S. And with this one, we know we've got the H here and the M here. And put a little block so that you remember that's the complete order right over there. Okay, we know that we need this SV order or this SV order. That means V has to be here, right? And then here we've got to split up Q and RT. So we've got this going at least. So that's a lot to work with. At this point, I'm just going to go to the answer choices and see what I can do. What must be true? One of the site visits has exactly 3 executives visiting it. Well, that has to be true here, right? Because we've got Q. This is more work that I could have done on this part. And then RT. That has to be true down here. But here we could have V either here or here, right? Sorry, that's getting a little ugly. V can move around. So that doesn't have to be true right there. So we can cross A off. The last of the 3 site visits includes Rodriguez. Yeah, that always has to be true. That's true in both of our diagrams here. So we get B as the answer, and we're done with the game. That was a really, really tough game, but if you saw that you only had these 2 main orders to work with, and then quickly diagrammed, you know, how it worked out with each of those 2 orders, given whatever extra condition the rules give you, the rules and the questions give you, you know, and you keep a calm head and just diagram those 2 possibilities out, you're going to do fine. This would have been a long game, you know, like a long solve, like 10 minutes, maybe more, but if you keep your wits about you, it's not that bad. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that one. We'll take a look at the next game. Okay, bye.